Hey everyone, I'm Lucy. I'm a content creator and a video producer, and this is my husband.
I'm Michael. I'm none of those things.
We just got married after dating for 10 years. We didn't have a wedding theme per se. We wanted the tables to feel very inviting and cozy and warm and really beautiful.
We wanted it to feel informal.
Yeah.
Just fun.
We both have very big families, especially Michael, so we wound up having over 200 guests at the wedding. I think what was particularly special about our wedding day was that because we grew up in the same town and we had been dating for so long, it wasn't like there was a huge distinction between the guests on his side and the guests on my side. It was like our town coming together to celebrate this wedding that has been long awaited since 2009.
We met in 2007, went to high school together. I ended up asking her to prom, and yeah, the rest was history, I guess. It feels really strange to introduce you to people or refer to you as my wife. I don't know when I'm gonna get over that.
Sounds legit, and like we're so old and so mature, and like I have a husband. I'm sorry, I have a husband? Being a content creator and a video producer for a living definitely came into play a lot during the wedding. I did feel like people wanted a lot of wedding content, and I really wanted to give them that, but at the same time, I wanted to remember that the wedding day was about us, and I just had to remember, you know, Michael doesn't do this for a living. He's been so generous to let me throw him in videos like this one and to be on my YouTube channel at all. I'm so grateful that he does that and lets me do that with him. But he didn't sign up to do this as a job, so I try to remember every time I'm filming something, especially if it's for a personal moment in our lives, that there are so many things that are better kept personal.
I think a wedding is one of the huge events in your life, so naturally you're gonna capture it in a lot of different ways. And coming out of it, we have these unbelievable photos and videos from the event. And it's really nice that you're able to share that with a broader audience as well.
When we were first deciding what to do for this wedding, I think our first stop was picking our venue. We knew we wanted to get married in the Hamptons. We actually considered getting married at his family house, but that was becoming too much of a production to set up tents and building a whole venue in the backyard. So we decided instead to pick a venue, and we went only to look at one venue, which was the Parish Art Museum, and we fell in love with it.
The parish was great for us because it had a bunch of indoor and outdoor space. It gave us a lot of options depending on how we actually wanted to do the wedding.
So when our planner showed us this room that was essentially a black box and they suggested we do our ceremony in there, at first we both said, no way, we're not doing this. And then we just kept looking at this black room and thinking about what we could do with it. And eventually it really hit us that doing the wedding in this dark room and changing the theme from bright sunshine and natural light to dramatic lighting and pin spotting on us and having the whole room be pitch black except for the two of us, that started to become really appealing to us.
Leading up to the wedding itself was really nice because both sides of the family were staying at my parents' house. And then the day of was a lot. It felt like, I don't know, 10 days all in one. It felt like a very long day. Woke up bright and early, even having not slept very well. I just felt very energized, was ready to go.
Didn't need hair and makeup.
Didn't need hair and makeup, all that stuff.
On the flip side, I woke up and had a lot to do. I also didn't sleep well at all. Despite not having slept well, I was also incredibly energized and I was really excited. My makeup artist actually slept over the night before, and she pretty much got started just like prepping my face very early in the morning. And pretty soon it was just a very busy, bustling scene. We were also at Michael's house, but all the girls got ready upstairs and all the boys got ready outside in the pool house area. So we were not even technically in the same house.
Everyone was telling me about how crazy it was that Lucy was so patient and calm.
I just felt like I didn't have any reason to be otherwise. It was incredibly organized, and I woke up and it was my wedding day. I just felt like it was the best day of my life was coming up, and there were so many people from out of town that had flown in and driven in to come be with us, and I had such a fun night to look forward to, and I had so much in the day to look forward to, and I just had awaited this day not only for a year and a half but for 10 years with him. So I was just so excited.
when we were ready to do the first look, they had me standing just facing a tree. I got to know that tree very well because I was just standing there with it for what felt like, honestly, 45 minutes to an hour. I think in reality it was like at least 20 minutes.
Yeah, but finally I made it out and I walked across the lawn in my dress and what felt like the longest walk of my life, just making my way slowly to where Michael had his back to me. And when he finally turned around, he kind of went weak at the knees for a second. I think I took your breath away.
Definitely.
He's a really emotional guy. I think in most of our relationship, I think he cried more.
I don't really think it's about who cries more or less. I definitely cried better, if that's a thing.
He's the better crier of the two of us because he has more experience,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So in terms of our ceremony, we had a Jewish wedding. We had a rabbi who was reading Hebrew prayers, and we did a lot of the classic Jewish elements when it comes to a wedding. That being said, it was more of a Reform Jewish wedding. There were certain aspects of our ceremony that were a little bit alternative and maybe not traditionally Jewish. For instance, our huppah, although it did have 4 points, it didn't have the cloth that covers it that would make it a traditional huppah. It was more of just our own version of a huppah. Our rabbi also did read Hebrew prayers, but because I personally don't speak Hebrew or understand Hebrew, I didn't want too much Hebrew to be read, so we did transfer some of the Hebrew blessings into English blessings. And our rabbi, I would say, was more spiritual than religious. He's super cool, really young guy, and he just stayed at the wedding as a guest after. But we did, the drinking of the wine, and we used Kiddush cups that were engraved from my family back to the 1800s, and one from his family from the 1900s, and then we also did the classic smashing of the glass. Right when he slammed the glass, he screamed like as if he just won the World Series. Like, woo!
Yeah, my voice was a little bit lower than that, but something like that.
Woo!
I think we realized pretty early on it would be very easy to get sucked into just going the traditional route. I think you and I had a bunch of conversations early on in the process where we just realized that we wanted to do it in the way that made sense for us. The whole day and then the ceremony itself had just so far exceeded the expectations that we had that, to me at least, and I don't know if you felt this way too, it felt like the reception was just going to be icing on the cake.
We walked into the room to the song September by Earth, Wind & Fire because we got married on the 21st night of September. So that song was kind of the song of the evening. I just remember turning to Michael while we're waiting outside saying, there's no way people are sitting down waiting for us to be introduced. It sounds like there's a full party going on in there. And by the time we entered and we could hear the song September was playing, we could see that the dance floor was already packed. And I almost expected the night to just be calm and one thing leading to the next, but it was an explosion.
It kind of went by very quickly in some ways, but I feel like I have a lot of amazing memories from it. I don't know, to me that's kind of how the whole day felt. In some ways it felt like it took a really long time and we did so many things, but it also, when it was over, it kind of felt like it went away like that.
At the end of the day, I think we both had the best day of our lives. We wouldn't change a thing, at least I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either. I felt it in the moment, but also looking back at pictures and videos, I've never seen myself that happy.
Are you crying?
Nobody's crying.
He cries all the time.
She's making things up. Come on.
His eyes are moist. Love you.
Love you too.
Thank you so much for watching this video about our wedding. If you want to see more videos, click right here to watch more content on our channel and click right here to subscribe. See ya.